Today, I'm taking a luxury Disney cruise for 80 hours in the best suite located here in the funnel. I'll show you exactly what it's like to live on board this magical ship, from the breathtaking facilities, Broadway shows, immersive restaurants, and spending the evening in a galaxy far, far away. All this does not come cheap though, with prices north of $25,000. But today you're joining me on this adventure to Neverland. With that, let's pick up our story in Orlando, Florida. Well, hello there and welcome back to the channel where our Disney adventure begins. Without any more to say, let's go and grab our hire car and head over to the cruise terminal. It's approximately a 1-hour drive over to Port Canaveral, located on the east side of Florida, otherwise known as the Space Coast. Welcome to Disney's dedicated cruise terminal. Priority is of course to drop our bags, which will magically appear in our room a little later, as we're escorted over to the expedited check-in channel. Ordinarily you'd wait here, but as a concierge level suite, we have no more than a 30-second wait in this special zone. Check-in in itself is smooth, and within moments our documents are processed, and we're given these golden stickers to queue jump to the next stage of our embarkation, security. Finally, we must pass through the golden Mickey ears, and we're onto the gangway, bringing with it a closer look at our new home, the Disney Wish. Standing at 1,120 feet in length, or the same as 6 Cinderella castles from the Magic Kingdom. After scanning my freshly minted cruise pass, I'm met with the magical 3-deck high Grand Hall. This has to be the most beautiful atrium of any ship I've ever seen, but more pertinently, we must go and check out our suite located on deck 14 in, yep, that's the funnel. Getting there is not quite as straightforward as you might think. Firstly, we must take the main elevator to deck 10. Now it's time to head past some of the other staterooms until we get to this glass door. A swipe of my card and we're granted access to a secret elevator. This is our own private elevator with the sole purpose of taking us to our suite. Well, I'm very happy to welcome you to our incredible new home, but most importantly, introducing my lovely sister, Ellie.
Hi, really excited to be here.
Oh, so excited to have you along. It's so good to introduce you to the channel and also to explore this incredible ship. So let's, first things first, take a look around our room.
Yeah, it's insane.
This suite occupies the second funnel of the Disney Wish across 2 floors, offering a staggering 2,000 square foot of space. It also happens to be Moana themed. Shall we take a look around? You're first met by this beautiful double height living space, complete with a spectacular chandelier and floor to ceiling windows. There's a dining table set for 8, boasting a welcome cheese platter, which I'm sure is anything I'll be indulging in later on. Next up, the bar space, which interestingly features a fully complimentary wine fridge. Alas, no Dom Perignon, but 2 bottles of Moet, a Chateau Neuve de Pape, and a Cloudy Bay White should mitigate. These can be replenished, but unfortunately at a cost. Moving on, we get to the, well, I can't really work out what this is. Apparently a bed comes down from the wall to create a separate bedroom, but a proper cinema room with projector could certainly have been achieved here. This comes with an ensuite bathroom, with toilet and accessible shower. Onwards to the kitchen. Hold up, is that a golden egg? Okay, this is cool. The rest of the kitchen space offers tea and coffee making facilities, along with a fully stocked refreshment fridge. This will be replenished on a complimentary basis throughout our voyage. And yes, the freezer section is filled with Mickey ice cream. As we head upstairs, I can't help but notice this beautiful sculpture reminiscent of the heart of Te Fiti. Up the spiral marble staircase we go, and with it to the highest deck of the ship, 15. So this suite sleeps 8 in total, and being Disney, of course, there's a child-focused bedroom, complete with 2 cozy bunks and a starlit ceiling. This also has a separate ensuite bathroom with Bulgarian amenities. Now for the 2 primary bedrooms, which are themselves larger than most cabins on board. offering a king-size bed with 1,000 thread count linens, a dressing table and full-sized walk-in wardrobe. Of course, there's an adjoining and beautiful ensuite bathroom, complete with a stunning bath, separate shower and a double sink arrangement. The second primary bedroom is laid out in a similar fashion, with large king-sized bed and pop-out TV, though with a slightly larger dressing table, complete with conch, similar walk-in wardrobe and an equally stunning bathroom. The suite is totally one of a kind, though my main confusion and frustration is there's zero outside space provision. Surely they could have designed a balcony or private terrace. Lastly, and what is perhaps the biggest issue, is something we'll discuss in just a second, as for now there's a flurry of activity outside. We're finally ready to set sail. Our first segment of the journey will take us over to Nassau in the Bahamas, but for now we've hit the open ocean and it's time to start thinking about dinner. Now, dinner on board, as you can imagine, isn't the most formal affair. However, the restaurant we've got booked this evening, well, it actually quite is. So, I have brought with me the staple Trek Trendy white shirt. Let's get changed and find out what we have in store. Finding your way around a new ship is both fun and challenging, and even more so when you add in being located in the ship's funnel. To get to this restaurant, we'll first need to head down to deck 10, and then walk towards the aft of the ship. But then, rather confusingly, head up to deck 12 via the regular elevator. Throughout the cruise, we'll tick off the various Disney movies dotted about. You'll notice we've already ticked off Moana, and now for Beauty and the Beast. Firstly in form of the Rose, which is a bar and lounge and is absolutely stunning. Don't worry, we'll be back for a cocktail, but for now, dinner is served in the restaurant to the rear, Enchante. This is touted as one of the world's most premium restaurants at sea, which is, yes, a significant upcharge. Shall we put it to the test? Despite the price point, it's always fully booked here, and it can be a challenge just to get in. To kick things off, the sommelier comes over with a wine list, which is easily the punchiest I've seen on a cruise. Perhaps I'll forgo the 10k bottle of DRC, or the 3.5 grand vintage Krug. Instead, a selection of champagne by the glass feels more appropriate. Shall we start with a 2013 Dom Perignon? An amuse-bouche of truffle arancini, foie gras and a tomato tartlet is presented to us, along with our menu for tonight. There's a choice of either a set menu or a la carte. With our orders placed, we'll start off with some butter and freshly baked bread, as we're served our appetisers of caviar for me and langoustine for Ellie. Another glass of champagne later, it's time for our mains. You know me too well by now. Of course, when Wagyu steak is an offer, I cannot say no. Meanwhile, Ellie opts for the wild turbot. We must absolutely check out the dessert options. To my surprise, we're served some petit fours whilst we make our mind up. Ellie decides against one, but I thought the chocolate crispy cocoa would be a vibe. I mean no disrespect, but it's essentially a shreddy. Anyhow, the ice cream it came with is the highlight here. So what did it all cost then? A cool $541, which includes $82 gratuity. I mean, it was really good, but that's a lot of money. I suppose the champagne probably didn't help. To close off our Beauty and the Beast evening out, a drink in the Rose Bar is certainly on the agenda. Menu-wise, we're yet again spoilt for choice, but a certain drink catches my eye. I just had to order their signature cocktail, the Rose, which is Grand Marnier, Rosé Champagne, and 818 Tequila. Ellie meanwhile goes for a far more sensible sweet rose. What stands out to me about both of these venues is the subtle but effective Disney theme. It's not as in your face as I assumed, though remember, this is the adult only section. Tomorrow will likely be a very different story. So what has Ellie thought to our experience so far?
Incredible. The food was amazing. The drinks were amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, so much. I'm so excited for everything we've got to explore.
I can't wait. But with that, we conclude our first day on board. Let's explore more tomorrow.
I slept wonderfully. I was a little concerned about being so high up that I may feel the ship's movement more, but thankfully I didn't feel a thing. We've been notified by the concierge team that our room service breakfast is ready. Let's go downstairs and investigate. You can order room service breakfast right up until 3 AM. All you have to do is write down your selection and place this outside your door with your desired dining time. We've got quite the feast, from avocado on toast to freshly baked pastries, double smoked Scottish salmon, and of course Mickey waffles. So my aforementioned feedback on the funnel suite, and we've experienced it whilst eating breakfast this morning: the lack of privacy. Ordinarily you're facing the sea from your stateroom, but we're facing the smoking area, bar and outer decks, meaning we're on full display. We were already warned by the staff to ensure the blinds are closed to prevent this, but then you have to ask, what's the point of having this room type if you can't even see out? Anyway, some food for thought. With that, it's time for the first caffeine hit of the day. We'll use the provided Nespresso machine within our kitchen to facilitate. I think I'm going to need this to explore our huge ship.
Hey Ellie, it's coffee time.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you very much.
There you go. Have you ever built a website before?
Oh, never.
Well, this is Odoo, an all-in-one management tool, and they have a website builder, which you can use to create a website for free. There's no technical skills required, and you won't believe how easy it is. Shall we have a go?
Great, let's do this.
Odoo continues to level up your website game with classic features such as drag and drop, allowing you to easily place blocks wherever you want on your site. Next, you'll be able to choose a template for your block which matches your expectations, and of course customizable internal content blocks. Now you can add more visual content with Unsplash, add dynamic animations to text and buttons, and of course custom typography with Google Fonts. There's even a colour palette feature to really bring your designs to life.
Come and have a look what I've done.
Nice work, Ellie. Your first application is free for life. Using my link in the description to get started for free. You'll get lifetime support, unlimited hosting, and a custom domain name offered for 1 year. Right then, are you ready to take a look around? I think we'll start with the outer decks. Whilst I've shown you the elevator, there's also a staircase which leads down to the funnel's secret outer deck entrance. This is where you'll find the 6 outdoor pools of various sizes, along with a giant TV called Funnel Vision, which plays Disney movies throughout the day. Oh, and something which surprises me, the plethora of available sunbeds, which feels rather alien compared to the likes of Royal Caribbean. Despite much of this space not being overly Disney themed, we're able to tick off Toy Story on our bingo card thanks to the kids splash zone. This is super cute and something I can see my niece and nephew loving. Just adjacent to this you'll find Wheezy's Freezies, a frozen fruit smoothie bar. Now if you're looking for theme park rides like Disney World, you'll be limited in choice, but there is Aquamouse, touted as Disney's first attraction at sea. It's incredibly popular with people of all ages, and whilst a short experience, it does transport an essence of the theme park on board. If you're looking for a more no kids experience, you'll be wanting the dedicated adults only section on deck 13. Here you'll find hot tubs, a beach club complete with bar, as well as aft view infinity pools. It's time for another bingo card tick. For lunch we're heading to the Mickey and Friends outside food court. These are all included in your cruise fare by the way. I've gone for the pulled pork tacos and Ellie the chicken burrito. In terms of drinks, I'm pleasantly surprised to see fountain soda to be totally free. Now it's time to head inside. We have a lot to explore. We'll start down in the grand hall on deck 3, I think. Well, it was only a matter of time before Cinderella got ticked off our list.
Well, if there's any place that is more fitting, this is very much it for the start of our tour of the inside of the ship. This place is absolutely stunning. Let's go up the grand staircase, shall we?
Deck 4 boasts some rather unique facilities. But starting with the more ordinary, guest services, though we have access to a special concierge lounge for such inquiries, which I'll show you shortly. Now for the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. This is a concept established in the Magic Kingdom parks, whereby guests between 3 and 12 can be transformed into Disney characters. Naturally this does come at quite the cost, but it does seem the outfit is theirs to keep, and I'm sure it makes many kids' fairy tale dreams come true.
Put them together, and what have you got? Bibbidi bobbidi boo.
There are of course facilities for older passengers, firstly in form of Huck's Barberry, straight out of the Jolly Roger. Not only can you get a beard trim, but there's also a hidden speakeasy bar in here. Opposite is the Untangled Salon, which alas has no speakeasy, but plenty of treatments available at a supplement. Before heading to get changed, we simply must take a look at the Mickey store. We're both in need of some ears, if you know what I mean. Quick outfit change later. Yep, you can tell what I bought in the Disney store. I also make it champagne o'clock. Ellie, would you like to join me?
Oh, yes, please.
Welcome to the Trek Trendy Bar.
What's on offer?
Take a pew. Only one option, just the champagne this evening.
Lovely.
It's finally time for the Walt Disney Theatre, located back down on deck 4. Now you may wonder why it's so quiet. As concierge suite guests, we have early access to the theatre to choose any seat we want. We're warmly greeted by our hosts and offered popcorn to take inside. It's honestly quite staggering to think we're still on a cruise ship. I feel like I've been transported to the West End or Broadway. Well, that was simply outstanding, a captivating, colourful and enjoyable pre-dinner show. Next we change our genre up and finally tick off the Avengers. This is the World of Marvel restaurant located on deck 4 aft. Well, if you thought the Disney theming was subtle last night, you can certainly say the opposite now. So the concept here is an immersive dinner, where we'll have various characters from the Marvel universe join us both virtually and physically throughout our meal. After a brief introduction,
I'm Scott Lang. Would you like know me as Ant-Man?
I am Hope Van Dyne, the Wasp.
we're served our G&Ts along with our appetizers. We're both having the steamed bao buns. After some more superhero entertainment, which does require a little audience participation, we're served our mains. Ellie opts for the grilled tuna steak, and I go for the chicken schnitzel, having my steak fix last night. As if by magic, a top secret dessert menu appears on our table, and as soon as I've placed my order, who drops in out of nowhere? Yup, Spider-Man is in the house. For dessert, Ellie has the rich chocolate caramel torte, and I have the decadent donut sundae. A short stroll from our restaurant is perhaps one of the most outrageously cool features of this ship.
May the Force be with you.
Upon entering, you're immediately transported to a galaxy far, far away. When I first read about this, I was concerned it may be a bit tacky, but any of these preconceptions are blasted away abruptly. The menu is imaginative, so much so there's a drink on there for $5,000, excluding tip. So what is this mysterious drink? After some digging online, I found out, and it's actually more than just one drink, but four. A cocktail made of Camas 4160 and a hugely special Grand Marnier. Then there's 3 smaller cups with 23-year-old bourbon, Watenchi gin, and a Kingsman edition tawny port. It also comes with a trip to the Skywalker Ranch in California, which is something you can't book ordinarily. I won't however be passing with $5K this evening, instead opting for 2 $17 cocktails, and the highlight being the Smoking Spire Sunset. Hats off to Disney for this one, it's an absolute must visit whilst on board. Good morning, we're heading down for breakfast in a new venue, which means descending into the Grand Hall. Appropriately, we'll be taking breakfast in the 1923 Walt Disney restaurant. This references the date of inception of the brand and celebrates the golden age of animation, where you can dine for breakfast, lunch and dinner. We're shown over to a table by the window and furnished with menus. I must say, whilst room service is convenient, you get far more selection in the restaurant. Ellie goes for the Eggs Benedict, whilst I just have to choose the Mickey waffles, which I missed out on yesterday. To reference, there are further options for breakfast, one of which is the buffet on deck 11, which offers a wide array of options from cooked breakfasts to pastries, Mickey waffles and cereals. Lastly, open exclusively to suite guests is the Concierge Lounge. This serves an array of buffet items, help yourself coffee, and a la carte options. Though I'd still suggest the Walt Disney 1923 dining and instead use the other Concierge Lounge facilities, such as the private hot tub and sun deck. From this vantage you can clearly see what looks to be a promenade deck on the bow. Shall we investigate? Access to the promenade is granted from deck 4, where you find a space you'd usually associate with Cunard's Queen Mary 2. This is actually because Disney takes a lot of design inspiration from traditional ocean liners, and I'm all for it. However, the surprises don't stop there. The promenade, as we saw from above, extends to the open bow of the Disney Wish. On most cruise lines, this area is off limits and only open for special cruises like in Alaska. For me though, it's the feeling of standing at the very front of the ship, with the wind in your hair and the anticipation of the next port on the horizon. Of course, we have Nassau up ahead, where we'll have the chance to get off and explore for the afternoon, before continuing on our voyage. Nassau is an extremely popular port in many cruise itineraries, and this is largely given to its proximity to the US, and ability to handle 6 cruise ships at once, as you can see today. Worry not, we still have a lot more to explore on board, including the frozen restaurant this evening. Welcome to the Bahamas, and in turn Nassau's $300 million new cruise port. You're initially met by a plaza of shops and cafes, before entering downtown. Here you can taxi over to the popular Atlantis Resort, or the many nearby beaches. We however opt to explore more of downtown and do some souvenir shopping, before getting back on board. After a quick security scan, we're home again on the Disney Wish. Something Ellie and I are keen to try out is the cinema facilities. One is Peter Pan themed, and the other Alice in Wonderland. These show a variety of classic Disney movies throughout the day. Unfortunately, the weather appears to have turned during our Disney binge, as we leave the port of Nassau behind. Where next, you ask? Well, we're heading for Disney's private island, Castaway Cay. Not to worry about the rain though, as our plans tonight are inside, and after a quick shower, let's head down to Deck 5. As promised, our dinner this evening will be in the Frozen themed restaurant, Arendelle. Now the theming for this venue goes beyond just the design. Oh no, this is a theatrical dining experience. We're promptly shown over to our table by one of the friendly waitstaff. Isn't this just spectacular? The menu is extensive and heavily Nordic themed. We'll start proceedings with a glass of rosé champagne as we're greeted by the stars of tonight's show. To begin, Ellie has the salmon smorgasbord, whilst I opt for the carrot soup. Now for our mains, with Ellie selecting the panko crusted Icelandic cod, and I go for the meatballs of course. Now for dessert. The selection is strong and we go for the Troll Family Rock Chocolate Bar and Elsa's Coronation Sundae. In all, that was a fabulous experience, with the show being immersive and entertaining in between our courses. Next on our agenda this evening is the Grand Hall, where there's quite the commotion. Of course, it's an impromptu meet and greet with some of the Disney characters. With things getting a little hectic, I think we'll take shelter in Nightingale's for an after-dinner drink. As we settle down to our table, let's peruse the menu, which features a bunch of Cinderella-based cocktails. Ellie has chosen a frozen bubble, and I, well, it appears a bird? It's a passion fruit gin-based cocktail called Sweet Nightingale. Good morning from Disney's private island, Castaway Cay. This was actually the first private island in the cruise industry when bought in 1999, though this has now become commonplace amongst the various cruise lines. So you're probably wondering the cost of this experience, and shocker, it's not exactly cheap. For both of us, this cruise was just under $25,000, though you will need to add on a further $1,000 to account for my onboard spend.
Welcome to Castaway Cay.
Yes, welcome to Disney's private island. Unfortunately, this is also the end of our incredible adventure on Disney Wish. Ellie, how's your experience been?
Oh, well, it's been magical. Thank you so much for having me along.
Oh, it's been amazing to have you along, and thank you all so much for watching, and we'll catch you again next time.